Only fools would walk away, but we're standing here today. Through the storms and history, only fools in SAFC. Sunderland till the day I die, underneath the west side sky. Through it all we still believe, only fools in SAFC.
Hello, how are we getting on? Hope you're all alright. So, back again, Aston Villa match preview, Sunday at 2 o'clock, our first Sky appearance of the season. But just before I get into the match preview, I just want to quickly touch on something that I think you'll probably find really boring, but it's quite important and it's massive for content creators like me and pretty much every other YouTuber at the minute. And that's the latest kind of YouTube algorithm change. Now, YouTube have been shits, to be honest with you. I mean, they sent us this nice snazzy jacket and a nice badge last week, but also in that same period they've also changed the algorithm, which is a really, really big change for us, and it's had a massive impact on not just me but every other YouTuber. So basically, YouTube make money out of creators from the adverts that's on the chat on the videos. So if you're watching videos with an ad blocker, your view, even though you've watched the video, will not count and will not now show up on YouTube, because YouTube won't make any money of it because you're not watching the adverts. The knock-on effect of that is that for us creators, our views drop massively, not because fewer people are watching, but just because those views from people who have watched the videos with them ad blockers just basically don't show up. So basically YouTube are only interested in making money out of adverts and screw the people who were spending hours creating the content. Now, on top of that, longer videos and longer form content like podcasts and live streams are also being hit quite hard because YouTube is now prioritising shorter ad content to compete with the likes of TikTok and Instagram. Now, for us, that's kind of it's a double whammy. You know, our videos now don't get recommended and pushed out to as many people. And honestly, it's hitting people's motivation as well. Like, I can spend up to 7 hours at a time doing these videos. The prep beforehand, the editing can take 4 and 5 hours, especially these match previews when I try and fit in as much data as I can. That, on top of working full time, is quite hard to do. But I have had some brilliant comments in recent weeks and months saying how people have been impressed with the quality of the videos, they're impressed with the setup and the more data. And that's really why I do it. But while I do like my videos to look professional and look really good, I'm now questioning, is it worth me putting all these hours in if I'm going to get less views? It might as well just be me sitting in front of the camera waffling on, which is not good for the loyal people who do watch and do tune in every week. So I'm a little bit torn at the minute. Like I say, I love doing this and I love doing the channel and the content, but if YouTube are going to screw us over by not pushing out the videos to new people and new subscribers, then you know it's kind of a catch-22. Now, the good news is, for you as viewers and subscribers, you can actually massively help for probably much little or no effort. If you are enjoying someone's content, whether it's mine or other people you watch, there's a few things you can do that will massively help. So first of all, make sure you're subscribed if you are enjoying the content. Hit the notification bell, which means you'll actually get notified when new videos are getting put out by that content creator. And drop a like, a comment on all the videos. You'll be surprised at how much of an impact that has, because when a video gets more likes and more comments, YouTube think it's worthwhile and it's good content, then push it out to more people. They've also got this new thing called Hype, where you hype your best videos. Just been introduced a few weeks ago. Basically, if you enjoy your video, you can give it hype points, which that then sends that to YouTube to say the video again is good content, and then gets shared to a wider audience. So that's another way you can directly help, get the Sunderland content like this out to more people. You can hype 3 videos a week. So across the content users or content creators, what you use and what you watch. You can hype 3 videos across that, that spectrum in a week. So if you could, and you want to support not just me but any creator you watch, really, liking, commenting, subscribing and now using hype is the best ways to do that. It's free, it only takes you a second, and it will make an absolute massive difference to us as creators. If you do watch a lot of content on YouTube, it might be worth exploring YouTube Premium, because that still supports the creators even though you are going ad free. I mean, I don't know how much YouTube Premium is. I'm guessing it won't be cheap, but if you do use a lot of, or do watch a lot of content, it might be worth just exploring and see how much it's going to be. So yeah, that's kind of just a quick background of why views on the videos might look a bit down. I mean, if you even check that sort of thing, do you even check how many views the videos had? You probably didn't, but for us, that's what we do. Obviously, we want to create these videos for people to watch, and if we're getting 400, 500, 600 views, then us as creators think there's something wrong and think that the content is not very good, when actually it's not that at all. It's just the fact that YouTube is shafting us, to be fair. 2 quick examples before I do get into what you've come to watch in the match preview. In the last 28 days, 57% of people watching my content and not subscribed to the channel, which, if you see here, that equates to 31,672 views from the people that aren't subscribed. So based on what I've just been saying there, those 31,000 views in the future might never see my next video, as it won't be recommended to them or pushed out, if that kind of makes sense. So by doing them 4 steps, what I mentioned earlier, of liking, subscribing, commenting, hyping, will massively help to address that algorithm change. Now, I get that a lot of views could be casual views, that could be from opposing fans and people who just come across the videos by accident, or could be genuinely from people who don't like subscribing to the channel, which is absolutely fine, I get that. But if you are a returning viewer and you use YouTube quite a bit and you are genuinely enjoying the content, if you could just do those 4 things, it can make a massive difference and see if we can get this algorithm in the right direction to help us as creators. That's just my little rant. I do apologise. Right, the boring bit over. So if you are still watching, you haven't fell asleep and you haven't switched off, let's get into the match preview. Aston Villa, managed by Unai Emery, top manager. Started at Lorca after he got injured, was retired, but then he earned promotion and won Coach of the Season while he was there. He then took Almeria to the first ever La Liga promotion, and then they finished 8th in the league. After that, Valencia secured consistent top 3 finishes in regular Champions League football for them. He then went to Spartak Moscow for a little bit of a spell, but then he went to Seville and had massive success. He won 3 successive Europa Leagues in a row. Then went to PSG, won League One and a domestic quadruple. He then went to Arsenal, where he reached the Europa League final, but got sacked in 2019. He then went back into Spain to Villarreal, won the 2021 Europa League and reached the Champions League semi-finals. He then moved back to the Premier League with Aston Villa in 2022, when they were almost near relegation. It was a massive coup for them getting him at the time. He's transformed them into a top 4 side, got Champions League football for them the season before last, since for the first time since 1983, and only just missed out on that again when they lost to Man United on the last game of last season. So fantastic manager, fantastic record. You can see he's got over 1,000 games, won 570, drew 232, lost 269. A win percentage in that 21-year career of 53%. Fantastic achievement, and I think he's a really world-class manager, and Aston Villa are really lucky to have him. But this season's been a bit of a different story. So Villa have started the season slow and have broke records for the wrong reasons. First time in the history they've not scored in the opening 4 league games. Drew against Newcastle on the opening day, lost against Brentford 1-0, got spanked at home against Crystal Palace 3-0, and then drew 0-0 at Everton last weekend. That has left them in 19th place. So they've played 4, won none, drew 2, lost 2, with a goal difference of -4, scored none, conceded 4 with 2 points. Now, no doubt that is a false position for Aston Villa, and they won't be down there very long. We can't underestimate them by any stretch of the imagination. But for us, this is a massive opportunity, I think, to make it 3 wins on the bounce at home. Now, I did an Inside the Opposition with Gary Bennett this week from Every Week We Follow. If you haven't seen it, the link's on the screen now. It's also in the description below. He was saying he thinks that something's wrong in the dressing room at the moment. The front players are not clicking. Like, so Morgan Rogers is playing like he's not interested. Watkins is missing chances. So there's something not right behind the scenes at Aston Villa. That's what their fans are kind of thinking at the moment. Having said that, on paper, they've got a very, very good side. If we look at this lineup that they had against Everton, Emi Martinez, Matty Cash, Henry Konza, Tyrone Mings, likes of Tielemans, John McGinn, Morgan Rogers, Buendia, Watkins, great players. They've also got the likes of Harvey Elliott, Jadon Sancho, Victor Lindelof, and even Guisando, who they paid €30 million for. They've got a very, very, very strong squad. So it's only a matter of time before the click, in my opinion. But they did lose Jacob Ramsey in the summer. He's a massive blow for them, homegrown player. But because of PSR, had to balance the books from that Champions League, kind of escapade last season. And they had to sell him 45 million quid. He went to them up the road, which, is a blow. And also the Emi Martinez situation, he'd almost agreed to sign for Man United in the summer. Kind of said his goodbyes to everybody, including the fans, and then that move fell through. So he's now had to come back and eat humble pie. He was brought back into the side at the weekend and had a really, really good game. So it's going to be a tough game, really, really tough game. A boost for us is they've got some injury problems. So Yuri Tielemans got injured during the week, I think, got a calf injury. Boubacar Kamara, their best midfielder in my opinion. I think he's a cracking player. He's out with a thigh injury. Amadou Onana, another one, a big physical presence in midfield, is out. And Ross Barkley is also out as well. So all big players, but they've still got a strong squad, like I said. Based on that, I think that this could be the lineup on Sunday. I think they'll probably play Martinez in goal, be a back four of Matty Cash, Henry Konza, Tyrone Mings and Luca Digne, with Bogard and McGinn in the middle, Harvey Elliott, Morgan Rogers and Buendia, and Ollie Watkins up front. Like I say, I keep on saying it's a strong squad on paper. Now, we know football's not played on paper, and if them players are not performing, then, then better for us. I think they'll come up here looking not to get beat, if I'm honest. I think they will be looking to get that first goal of the season. They did score, I think it was Tuesday that they got beat at Brentford in the Cup, but they did score. Harvey Elliott got the first goal. Did get beat on penalties, however. They do also have a Europa game on next Thursday when they play Bologna. So how will they approach our game? Will they want just to come here, get a point and get out of the stadium light, unscathed? Or will they come here to try and get the season back on track, improve a point and have a right go and try and get the win? But like I said, I think this is a massive chance for us to get another home win on the board. We've had a full week's preparation after the fantastic draw against Crystal Palace last week, where we know Robin Roofs was absolutely tremendous and outstanding. But the whole team from 1 to 11, I thought, did really, really well. To get a point there at Palace is no mean feat. I did see it when I did the Sky Sports thing, that's the first or the second, only the second time that they haven't scored at home, since April or November last year. So it's a great achievement. I do think for us that we might, if we're going to make changes, it might be at the top end of the pitch, where I think it's not quite clicked yet. I think Tyrone Mings is not the quickest at the back for Villa, and Matty Cash could be a weak link based on what we're told from inside the opposition. I'm not convinced that Harvey Elliott, if he plays, will track back too much either. So that could leave them open at the back. So based on that, this would be the team that I play on Sunday. I'd have Robin Roofs in goal. I'd have the same back four of Trey Hume, Mukwele, Alderete and Reinaldo. In midfield, Siddiqui, Xhaka and Diarra. The changes up front I would make, I'd have Isidore on the left-hand side. I'd have a Dingra on the right. And I'd put Eliza Mienda back up front, just because I think Isidore has been more effective on that left-hand side. I don't think that Talby's quite settled in. If you watched, the midweek Mackems last night, where with me, Mike Conrad and Michael Bowers kind of said the same thing, where I don't quite think Talby's quite settled in yet. I don't think Broby's fit. Broby is the other option that we could play. But I just think Mienda's pace Isidore's kind of strength and physicality against Cash on that left-hand side, and Adingra switching to the right could give us better options up front. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. You know, what team would you pick? Obviously, I think if Lefebvre's fit, I would have Lefebvre back in the team. I don't think he's going to be fit, but we'll have to wait and see. But that's just based on what we know. That's the team I would pick for Sunday. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Score predictions. Like I said earlier, I do think it's a great chance of getting another win on the board and making a 3 on the bounce at home. Obviously, without underestimating how good Villa can be, they could turn up on Sunday and give us a tanking quite easily. You know, with the quality of what they have up front. End of the day, they've been a top 6 side for the last 2 years. But I'm going to be positive. I think they've got problems in the dressing room. I think they will be focusing more on that Europa League game next weekend. So they've got players out. I think they will break the record. I think they will get a goal. I think they will score the first goal of the season in the league. But I'm going to go for Sunderland 2, Aston Villa 1 to get a maximum home wins, 3 out of 3, and get to 10 points, which will be a fantastic, fantastic achievement after 5 games. Get your score prediction in the comments below to enter the score prediction. Now, last week, Tony Huntington predicted a 0-0 draw, so well done to you, mate. Cracking prediction. 5 points to you. A further 16, including yours truly, predicted a draw and get 2 points each. That leaves the overall scoreboard looking like this. So Ray Knight is still out in top with 10 points. We've then got Chris Carter-Jackson, Peter Smith and Tony Huntington on 9 in second place. And then there's a few on 7. Alex Dixon, Brian Greener, Elizabeth Eyre, Gary Hoyle, John Ruddock, Mark Aki, Richard Waite, Stephen Smith, Steve SM and Trevor Henderson all on 7. So shape up nicely. So Ray Knight out in front. Get your score prediction in the comments to try and catch him. Don't forget, also this game is also our dedicated match for Cancer Has No Colours, which obviously is run by the Bradley Lowry Foundation in memory of our little superhero Bradley that we lost 8 years ago. So when you're at the ground on Sunday, you'll probably see a lot of activity around that Bradley Lowry Foundation and a lot of collections and what have you. I've also put the description the link in the description below for anybody who wants to donate. You know, we know the great work that they do and what they've done since Bradley passed away. It's been fantastic. So anybody who wants to know what you can donate, you can do that as well. Also, just before I go, I just wanted to say how shocked and gutted I am about Ricky Hatton. I have mentioned it on previous streams, but Ricky Hatton grew up watching these fights. Absolutely amazing fighter. Love me boxing. I was gutted to hear that on Sunday morning. I think it was Sunday morning when it happened. So just to see, if you are feeling down and you're feeling stuck and you're feeling lost, please just speak to somebody. Speak to somebody. Doesn't matter who it is. Just reach out and try and get some help. Our mental health is a massive thing at the minute. While we don't want to speculate, how he passed away, we're guessing that it's something to do along them lines with his mental health. He had struggled in the past, so a big loss to boxing, a big loss to everybody. Ricky Hatton, so rest in peace, mate. But that's it from me. Like I said at the start of the video and that YouTube piece, I hope it wasn't too boring for you. I hope you kind of understand now a little bit more of the algorithm and how it works to get the content pushed out. But please like, share, subscribe and hype. It really would mean a lot to me and everybody else who's creating content at the moment. But watch out for the match review coming out after the Villa game on Sunday afternoon or Sunday night. Hopefully I might get some more Sky appearances in the future. Had some great feedback from everybody who watched, so thank you very much for everybody who liked, commented and give us the good feedback to see how good it was. Really, really appreciate that. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. Take it easy, stay safe, and we'll speak soon. Ta-ra.
Sunderland's where we live and fight with pride.